thank you all for being here today. It's my pleasure to welcome some very esteemed guests here. On my left, we have obviously the governor, Steve Jobs, and on my right, Senator Alquist, Senator Desalegn, and Tom, on that, sorry, you switched, thank you, and Thomas Moen. And we're here today to have a signing of some very important legislation. And it is truly my pleasure to welcome everyone here. We have in the audience some really extraordinary people. We have a number of children and families, and now adults in the audience who have received a transplantation, an organ transplantation, both here at Packard and in some cases in other locations. And also we have a number of people here today who are those individuals who actually perform the transplantation or are part of the transplantation teams. If you guys take a moment, I just love both the families and the prior patients, and also those who are part of the transplantation teams, just to stand up real briefly.
Go ahead,
and I'd like to give them a moment. And Governor, it's truly an honor to have you back here to sign this legislation. It was only a few months ago that the Governor and Steve Jobs joined us here at Packard Children's Hospital to launch the SB1395 that was sponsored by Senator Alquist, and launch that initiative through that bill through the process. And it just in a few months it passed, I believe, Senator, unanimously. Is that correct? Struggled a little bit in committee, but it actually passed unanimously by the legislature. And so it is really my honor to now welcome Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction, and also I want to thank Chris for having us here today and organizing and hosting this press conference, and Steve Jobs, I want to thank him for bringing it to my attention in the first place, and Senator Alquist for the great job she did, and Senator Desalegn and Tom Moen of One Legacy. And then we have, of course, Chief Butler here. Where's Chief Butler? Right over here, who just got a transplant and who was waiting for it since the last time I was here, which was 7 months ago. And just 10 days ago, I heard that you got a transplant. And I don't know what kind of doctors you have, not only to perform this miracle, but to give you permission after 10 days to sit out here. It's extraordinary. It's a miracle. So it's great to have you here. It's terrific. And I'm really happy to be back here at Lucille Packard's hospital. What an amazing work that all of you are doing here, healing patients and saving lives and so on. And I was just here 7 months ago, and I said then I'll be back. And the day we are back 7 months later, and you know, at that time we were here to put the spotlight on this issue. And I was here, I remember, with Steve Jobs, and we have to give him a lot of credit because he came back apparently from Europe or from somewhere where he called me and he said that, you know, that in Europe, in Spain, they have no waiting list, because you can only you know, opt out. But if you don't opt out, then you're automatically on the donor list. So we try to copy the same thing. We talked about that 7 months ago, but our constitution in the United States is a little different than the Spanish constitution, so we could not legally do that, so we did the next best thing. And so I want to say thank you to Steve Jobs for bringing it to my attention, calling me several times to call the legislative leaders, the legislators, and not to make it a political issue, but a people's issue, which I think is always very important, that Democrats and Republicans can work together on this. But he really did great work, so we want to thank him. Let's give him a big hand. Because as he said, he got a transplant, and but he felt that because he had money, it speed up the process. He wants to make sure that everyone, no matter what your finances are like, that anyone and everyone has the chance of getting a transplant if you need one. So that's why he's here, and that's why he has been pushing that. I also want to say thank you to Senator Desanier for the great work that he has done, and Senator Alquist, and also Speaker Perez. All of them worked together on these various different bills. So thank you, and thank you for the great work that you have done. The legislation we celebrate here today will bring the promise of life-saving transplants closer within reach of all Californians. Organ donation is one of the kindest, most generous, and most powerful actions that each and every one of us can take. When you sign up as a donor, you're immediately armed with the power of saving up to 8 lives. So this is really extraordinary. Yet in California and across the nation, we suffer from a shortage of donors. In 2005, I already signed legislation giving potential donors the option to simply check yes on the driver's license. So since then, we of course have increased and doubled the amount of donors that are available now. Up to 7 million are available, but as we also know that only 1/4 of eligible Californians are registered. So we want to change that and really get the numbers up. So SB1304 by Senator Alquist would increase organ donor rates in 2 ways. First, it will make California the first state in the nation to create a live donor registry for kidney transplants. Kidney transplants simply because I heard out of 85% of those that are on the transplant list, on the waiting list, are waiting for a kidney. And our registry would increase the number of kidney donors and expedite the match between donors and recipients. Very important. And we also want to help spread the message across California and throughout the nation that becoming a living kidney donor is possible. Second, instead of being voluntary, this bill will require a DMV applicant to choose whether you're in or you're not. So you have to choose one or the other. I also signed, by the way, a pair of bills by Speaker Perez and Senator Desanier to help simplify the process for potential donors. Let me just close by saying this. While government has a very important role in all of this, it is up to each and every one of us, each individual, to take action on this. So I urge all Californians to participate in this, and let's reach out and help one another here. I want to urge all Californians to seize this incredible opportunity. We even have put a website together, and this is www.donatelifecalifornia.org. And so you can become now an organ donor today, so call, be in touch with us. Thank you very much. And now, I would like to bring out Steve Jobs to say a few words about this. And again, thank you, Steve, for the great work that you've done.
Thank you, Governor. This new law will save thousands of lives in California each year where there's not enough organ donors to go around. It's good for everyone. The donor's family knows that their loved one is making it possible for others to live. The really talented surgeons in the hospitals can save the lives they've trained to save. The donor recipients are given the gift of an extended life. Even the insurance companies benefit, because the cost of transplantation, though a lot, is still less than the cost for chronic and end-of-life care. As a transplant recipient, I know how precious this gift of life is. And on behalf of those future transplant recipients who will now receive organs because of this new law, I want to thank Governor Schwarzenegger, Senator Elaine Alquist, and all of the legislators who voted for this law. Thank you all very much. It's my pleasure to introduce Senator Elaine